Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Ocean's Pit. Today is Monday. It is March 2nd, and hello, March, everybody. And that means spring is not that far away, right, everybody? Yeah, I hope you had an incredible weekend. I hope you're having a great morning, and thank you guys for tuning in today to Ocean's Pit, the little show about big things, Monday through Friday at noon. We're going to have a lot to talk about today, but first, check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com, and give us a call at 847-769-8609 to book a show. Every show is dedicated to the first responders, the men and women in the military, our veterans, but mostly for you wonderful people who take the time and watch the show. Now, whether you're watching it now during your lunchtime fun, or whenever else you're watching it later on in the day, we do it very much. It's showtime. Ocean's Pit style. Woo! Hello, March, and good morning, everybody. Wow, it's a good day. I hope you guys are having a good day too. Great morning, and went out, took the dog for a walk, and get out in a little sunshine. It's a little chilly, but it was nice. And what can we say? Today is March 2nd, and before we get into the nitty gritty, let's get right to our good friends, of course, from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place, buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. These are the brand new March specials, baby, the March deals, and they've got a whole bunch of them here. Now, during the month of March, exclusively at the JRC Hardware store locations, all Carhartt clothes are 30% off, including gloves, socks, and hats. So much more going on over there, folks. How about Scott's 4-step annual program? Now, $94.99 for 5,000 square foot bag, a savings of $25, or $229.99 for a 15,000 square foot bags, a saving of $60. And Eagle lawnmowers, save up to $150 with Eco battery powered lawnmowers, other outdoor powered equipment. You will never have to deal with gas or engine tune-ups again. Plus, free assembly delivery on all lawnmowers. See all your details. And don't forget them. Tell them to grill your ace off. You want to get yourself a grill? Do it with Ace, baby. Grill your ace off. That's JRC Ace Hardware. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. All right, so good stuff. Don't forget, this Wednesday, that's 2 days from today, folks, 2 days from today. Now, there will not be a show during the day on Wednesday, but Wednesday night, this Wednesday, March 4th, we'll be at Village Tavern on Wise Road in Schaumburg for our 6th year anniversary bash. 6 years of Ocean's Pit, because you wonderful people take the time and watch it, whether you like it, hate it, whatever it is, but it's still there, and we're still here because of you and our sponsors and our listeners. And thank you all. Village Tavern this Wednesday, 6 o'clock, first come, first serve. At 7:15 or so, we're going to do the live remote. Of course, Laura Ocean will be in the house. Carol Brandolino will be in the house. We got special gifts. We got special guests. We got giveaways. We got a whole bunch of good stuff going on for this Wednesday, folks. Also, Village Tavern, again, is kind enough to give out those free, world famous chicken fingers and French fries for everybody sitting in the section watching part of the live remote. We're going to give away some free cocktails. We got some prizes. We got some great guests stopping by. Ron Onesti will be coming in live remote from Arizona. Of course, we got good buddy Richie from Seventh Heaven, Mary from NTD Vacations, Ace Hardware, Raffaello, and we have so much more coming by to say hi and talking. It's going to be fun. So I hope you guys can show this Wednesday on the 4th for our 6-year anniversary. All right, what a great weekend it was. We started off Friday night at Chicago Prime Steakhouse. We want to thank everybody that came out. Also, thank you, Debbie, if you're listening, for that nice birthday cake for Double T, Tony Toto. It was very cool. I stopped at Palm Court in Arlington Heights prior to my gig at Chicago Prime on Friday night to see my good friend, the Chicago piano man, Nick Sahajas, and his lovely wife, Phyllis, and great seeing Rick Sorcy from the Cave Dwellers, and, of course, Mikey Cigar and everybody there was so nice. And, of course, running into my very old friend from Jilly's, the great Jesse White, and still looking great, speaks Italian. He's just a great guy, always been a great guy. So that was my Friday night, was great. And then Saturday, we made our debut at a brand new place called Rookies in Hoffman Estates. It's a sports bar, a little different kind of venue from what I normally play. But if you've been there before, it's the restaurant bar part, right? And then they bought the next building over, and they converted it with a bunch of and a giant stage, and it's a separate room with its own bar, own bathrooms and stuff. And it was a great show. We started at 8:00. I can't believe all the people that showed up, and I really thank you all from the bottom of my heart who showed up over there. And also, Buddy was celebrating his birthday. And it was great seeing a lot of people there. And the band was on fire. We had, of course, Jerry even showed up. Jerry Jams, who was off that night, was kind enough to show up too. But it was great seeing the band, of course, Tony Toto on drums and sound, Mikey D on keyboards, and Bob Pucci on guitar, which I've known Bob for years. That was the first night we actually played together. Denise Armour, another great singer from Chicago, she was there. So great seeing all you wonderful people there on Saturday at Rookies, Cousin Tommy and everybody. Now, we won't be back there till next year because we had no other dates available, but it was nice to be out there. We do appreciate that much. And then Sunday, I woke up and, since I was off, because my Sundays start getting busy now when it gets warmer. So I had a couple Sundays off, this Sunday and next Sunday off too, which is nice. And I went to the Saturday morning, I went to the Elgin flea market, Elgin High School flea market. Started at 10:00. When I up, there was a line out the times. They got so much stuff there. Oh my God. The stuff they had. I bought a fishing model. It was actually kind of cool. But then, I like doing some of these things, And then Sunday I went to the America's Antique Mall in Algonquin, and up and down, more stuff, more antiques, more stuff like that. I ended up buying a pipe, a smoking pipe, of course. But it was very, very cool. If you ever get a chance to get out to some of these places, do it, because I love doing this stuff in the summer. And some of these malls are inside and they're all year round, which is kind of cool, and that's important to go out and have a little fun, see what you can find, and always got treasures. They're there, which is kind of cool. All right, so let's get, of course, to the Chicago Music Cruise 2027, and of course that's going to be January 10th. That's brought to you by our good friends from Rich Seventh Heaven and NTD Vacations. That's right, folks. We're going back to the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. Orlando, Florida, Bahamas, Coco Key, beautiful island owned by Royal Caribbean, St. Martin and St. Thomas. It's going to be the main event band, Tony Ocean, Tony Toto, Jerry Jams, Daryl Armenstad. It's going to be a lot of fun, of course, the boys from Seventh Heaven. You can't beat this deal when you come out to Royal Caribbean for the Chicago Music Cruise number 4 with me, my 4th one. Now, Richie and the boys have been doing it for years, but go to NTD Vacations, attention Mary, and get on that mailing list, find out some information. Go to ChicagoMusicCruise.com, put in Tony Ocean. These are different options, but the best option is to pick up the phone and call Mary at 630-688-1725 and say you want to go on the ocean with Ocean and Seventh Heaven. Do it January 10th, 2027. Ronnie B with Shake and Ryan, Richard, Sandra, Jeff Hunt in the house. Buddy, great seeing you, and thank you for celebrating your party on Saturday. Jill, how are you doing? Kathy, great seeing you on Friday. Donnie Morrison, what's up, buddy? I'll see you tomorrow. Joanne, I hope you guys are doing well. So, great weekend, and I know we got a lot to talk about, and I know you guys can't wait for what I have to say about the President Trump and Iran. But before we, that's going to be later on in the hour. That I promise you some takes and some what people sent in, some of my thoughts. But in the meantime, got a nice busy week since there's of course Carol Brandolino will be with us tomorrow for Twisted Tuesday. No show during the day on Wednesday because we have the anniversary show, and then Carol will be back with us on Thursday for Toxic Thursday. But Friday, people have been waiting for it. I've been promising you this. Somebody who has some legit information on everything that's going on, a lot of the questions that you guys have been asking. Former military man, former CIA, and of course, his father was a head ranking general in the Army. He's not going to be showing his face because he is on social media, but we don't want, he doesn't want to get bombarded or anything like that. So he's coming on, and we're just going to call him Mr. Orange. And Mr. Orange was a character actually on one of the greatest movies ever made, Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs. So he'll be on this Friday. So make sure that you tune in and get some of your questions answered. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Iraq finished the job. It's time. Yeah, Dennis, I hope you're doing good. Went Sunday to see Tommy and my cousins Rick Sorsey. Yeah, Jeanette, of course. Cave Dwellers did open up for Tommy James and the Shondells. Very cool. Yeah, very good. Albert, I hope you're doing well. Thomas, hope you're doing well. All right. A couple of things here today that we got. Let's see. The Chicago White Sox again beat the Chicago Cubs 5-3, is it? No, 5-1 in preseason game. The Yankees won again too. Knicks are winning, so I'm excited there. This is the second pregame I think that the Cubs lost, or they might have played another one. I don't know. I just remember of two. Happy Kazimierz Pulaski Day for all my Polish friends out there. Also, we lost a great, over the weekend, we lost a great singer-songwriter, the great Neil Sedaka passed away too. He had some great songs, of course, not only from the 50s, 60s, 70s, but a great singer-songwriter and performer, the late, great Neil Sedaka. Danny Mazzi, I hope you're doing, buddy. I hope you're doing well. Hope to see you and Robin this Wednesday at our 6th-year anniversary bash for Ocean's Pit. There's Mary. Hi, Mary Grievous. Mary, thanks for all your help this past weekend. And there's all the information you need right there. Book on the cruise. Join us. NTD Vacations. That's Armando's Supermarkets, 925 Liberty Street in Elgin, Illinois, folks. Not only produce, but meats and prepared food, rotisserie chicken, a lot of good stuff that Armando's does in Elgin, 925 Liberty Street in Elgin, Illinois. Go over there and buy local, shop local. All right. Boy, I'm trying to figure out some more stuff here. One of the original, Albert might get this, and some of you else that were following Beatle fans, when John Lennon first started his band, was called the Quarrymen. The Quarrymen, they were called. And then, of course, then he met Paul McCartney and whatever, you know, the rest is history. But one of the original Quarrymen, Len Gary, has passed away. So this is really going back to your old British invasion Beatles type history there. Very, very important. Let's see. 1 week ahead, right? Spring ahead comes March 8th. We're 1 week away from that. Kathy, great seeing you this weekend, my dear friend. I hope you are well. Thank you, Kathy. Fans made the announcement. Pat Hughes is saying goodbye to Chicago radio. I don't know how many years he's been with the Cubs on radio, but Pat Hughes is stepping down from being the radio announcer for the Chicago Cubs, for all you Cub fans out there. Another great sports legend has passed away. NHL, the great from the Boston Brewers, from the Esposito family, of course, Phil Esposito has passed away. What a great player. He was one of my favorites, of course, the Esposito brothers. And of course, it's just sad. Sad. I met Rod that Paul replaced in the past. Oh, yeah, there you go. Nothing, including my ex-wife. All I can do is pray for her. Oh, God bless you, Dennis. I've seen Ron on SC Bleefy with the kids. I haven't seen him in. Yeah, Ron's running around. Very busy man. Kathy, Ricky Stokes in the house. How you doing, buddy? I'm just going over some different stuff before we get into some highlights, headlines that we needed to address. Oh, my favorite movie of all time. I've got a lot of them, top 10, top 20, but one of my favorites of all time was released uh, yesterday or 2 days ago, February 28th, 1933. Is that right? 33? Yeah. King Kong, the black and white King Kong. What a movie. To this day, it still gets me crazy when I see King Kong. And I love all the King Kong movies and the Godzilla movies. You guys know all that. But I like it back when it first came out, which is very cool. Here's Mike Carriosa. How you doing, buddy? My good buddy Michael from Hardcore Italians. They're going over to New Haven. They're going to Brooklyn. They're going to New York for the pizza tour. So go to Hardcore Italians. I think it's end of April into May. You might want to sign up and take a trip. Take a trip. But King Kong, if you've never seen the original black and white one, that's the one you need to see. According to WGN, let's see, 26th annual Polar Plunge. That's right. For the Special Olympics, they raised $1.5 million. 4,300 plungers jumped into the cool water of 35 degrees to raise money for Special Olympics. So, hey, another great organization, the Special Olympics. So whatever people can do to help and any kind of these kind of things, which is very, very cool. I think Buddy was at one too. I don't know if Buddy was at the one in the city, but I thought you might have had one in your neighborhood, in your town or something. I thought I seen Buddy post something like that. But that's kind of cool. $1.5 million raised for the Special Olympics. Very, very cool. 4,300 people. You couldn't get me to jump in that water, and I can do anything else. I'll sing for the charity. I ain't jumping in no cold water. I know. It's just me. Just something I just can't do. Yeah. So the Marble Man. Remember all those years of cigarette? You don't see him anymore, obviously. All the magazine stands, all the magazines that you watched, all the commercials, all the billboards, the Marble Man smoking. Let me tell you something. Robert Jones, was it? No, Robert Norris was the actual actor. Was a rodeo star, rancher, who played the original Marble Man. Never smoked cigarettes. Never smoked cigarettes. That was just a part of the thing. And I'm going to tell you something. It happens. It happens, folks. I was sponsored by Lucky Strike cigarettes for years. I had them in my hand. I puffed them all night long, but I didn't inhale them because I didn't smoke. I can't smoke. That's why I can't do weed, because I can't inhale that shit or breathe up. So, yeah. So there you go. I was not a smoker. Makes you feel bad now, right? Back then, go, look how cool he looked. It's almost like, if you said John Wayne hated horses. He might have. I don't know. But you know what? When you see an actor like that, oh, he's cool. And you know what I mean? It's like if you found out that Keith Richards didn't smoke. There you go. Jim Palucci, congratulations, buddy, on your big event with your band. Of course, the show must go on. Tribute to Three Dog Night. I think you guys were at stage 19 in Elmer. Sold out show. Congratulations, Jimmy, and what you do for that band, man. You do a great job. You're damn right. Not jumping into that cold water. Rather fight than switch. Yeah, good point. And we'll talk about all that stuff. Mary, great seeing you guys on Saturday, too. Thank you so much for coming out. And I'm going to talk about the attack this past weekend by President Trump and what I have to say about that, or my thoughts on it, whether it means anything to you guys or not. When you go to ballparks and they have their signature drinks or their signature food, remember like that we just talked about at the Super Bowl, they had the burger, $480, whatever it was, I don't know, for a giant burger. The LA Dodgers, folks, have the Slugger hot dog. Have you heard about this? The Slugger hot dog, 16-inch, chopped up with sausage and jalapenos. Huge 16-inch hot dog. Folks, it's $40. $40 for the Slugger hot dog. Unbelievable, right? Spring training. We just talked about Sox beating the Cubs twice so far. Yankees have won like 3 games in a row. spring training, and I know everybody's excited because football is over. Now we're starting baseball and everything like that, which is cool. But did you realize, and you got to think about it, the money they raise just in spring training from the hotels and the restaurants and the airlines of people going there just for spring. I think my good buddy Joey Spins is out there. Just in Arizona alone, the revenue they make is about $700 million. They get revenue from spring training games for baseball in Arizona. That is money, my brother. That is money. I like to get a little piece of that. All right. How about this? This is interesting. I love rock and roll. Remember? Da-da, da-da, I love rock and roll. Okay. Actually, recorded in 1975 by a band called the Arrows. And if you listen to their version, it's almost very similar to the version that Joan Jett made popular in 1982. Entertainment Weekly voted the best rock and roll song of all time is I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett. Wow, it's a great tune. It's an easy song to play. It's an easy song to learn if you're a musician. Everybody knows the words to it. They might not know who sings it, but when you hear it on the radio, when it first hits, you all know it's Joan Jett. I love rock and roll. Entertainment Weekly called it the greatest rock and roll song ever. I don't know. Pat Lenzini, $40 for a 16-inch. I'm just scratching my head. Well, it's Los Angeles, Pat. Sunburn, brother. Joey, you already got sunburn already. You got to be careful out there. Keep drinking, though. Keep drinking and smoking those stogies, buddy. Give my best to your lovely wife, Cindy, and hope you guys are having a great time out there. Yeah, so that's not. But pardon the drilling and the noise and Zoe up there. They're still working on our kitchen. Sooner or later, we'll get that thing done. Pat Riley. Here's a question I'm going to ask you guys. Pat Riley, to me, one of the greatest NBA coaches of all time. Of course, all the years with the Lakers, the Miami Heat, with my New York Knicks, the great Pat Riley, a genius coach, a genius guy who I told you the story when the Knicks were going against the Bulls for the three-peat. He came up and he copyrighted three-peat. So all those Bulls shirts that says three-peats, Pat Riley made a piece of. Genius. But he said something, folks. He said a man who wears a suit makes him more respectful and more of a leader. When you see a man in a suit, you automatically think more power, maybe? Now, I love being in a suit or a shirt and a jacket. I love that. That's just me. I entertain. I would probably do the same thing if I was out socially, but not when I'm like on my days off. If I'm just hanging, I'm casual. You've seen it is what it is. But I think it's important to wear the suits. And I think when men dress up, when they're but remember back in the day, lawyers, salesmen, car dealers, real estate guys, everybody had a suit. They're all in suits. Right? When you walked in the store, there was suits. And you wore suits to work. But then what ended up happening is sort of this woke generation has been around a long time. Let's not dress up anymore. And casual Friday. If it just would have stayed casual Friday, I'd be happy. But it turned casual Friday to casual Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. When you used to get on the airplane, you dress up. Now they're in shorts, sandals, toenails not cut, Crocs. Nobody dresses up. Vegas looks like it's a hoedown somewhere in the rodeo. So, Remember? So then they changed it, and that's why the car dealers are not in suits anymore. The real people who sell real estate are not in suits anymore. Lawyers are not suits anymore. Then it changed because everybody was intimidated by these people. When you see somebody walk in with a suit, it became intimidating. Well, for how many years and years and years and years and years did people dress up? It wasn't intimidating then. Jeanette, Mary, Frankie, Joy, Tony, Jill, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So what do you think, a man in a suit? I think it's important to be in a suit. I think you should always have a jacket. A man should always have a jacket on. Just my opinion. At least when you're out socially to some degree. I'm not talking about going out, drinking with the boys or just hanging out. People wear pajamas to the airport too, Tammy. It's horrible. I seen it. Pat, people on planes look like they rolled out of bed and got into plane. Yeah, I mean, it's just horrible now. Pajamas with their things on their ear, their head. They're not, can't go anywhere without them things banging in their head. I don't know. I kind of miss that. I do kind of miss that, folks. Here's something that really gets me. Now, usually even I see, like even at some of my shows sometimes, you see the guy, okay, he's dressed up all right. The woman always looks great. And the guys, not everybody, just, there's a few that would just like, you can't tell if they're actually together. She looks like, and it's like, you guys from the same house? Just me. Here's something that I found out. Oh, another thing, talking about baseball. Jim, we looked good when we walked into the clubs in the 70s and the 80s with a suit on and the women were all dressed nice. Yeah, Jimmy, that was 70s and the 80s and the 90s when grunge came and destroyed everything. It destroyed music. It destroyed everything, my opinion. Here's one for all you baseball fans out there. You might be a fan, you might not. Umpire Bruce Forming, if I'm pronouncing his name right. Third most games he's umpired. He's umpired. How do you say that? Umpire? He was an umpire. The third most umpire with the games in baseball. The ump behind the plate. 86 years old has passed away. And that's going to be another, we're going to get some people on probably saying that the umpires are going to be going soon. And that's going to be turning AI, which seems like that might be happening. Who knows? People are getting lazier. Yeah. I don't know if the people are getting lazier, Jeanette. The establishments lets you get away with that because years ago, you wouldn't get in a club or restaurant without a jacket. You couldn't get in. It wasn't if you were lazy or not. Let's not go there today, George. Let's go over here. So, saw a gal on the international flight. I was in business. A girl came in from a coach in her underwear to use the lavatory. Yeah. Carlo Joseph, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Carlo, we're meeting later. Me, you, and Antonelli. Cocktails. 5:00. All right. So, yeah. So, and I don't get it. And maybe because I'm just old school and stubborn. Maybe it's me. But the whole floods, the pants with the brown shoes, I'm sorry. I don't get it. I just don't understand. And they got floods on these days and no socks. I don't get it. What do I know? I'm 63. Old school. Our kind is going, ladies and gentlemen, as we would say. It's a new thing, man. It's a new thing. I don't even recognize this new world, man. It's just nuts to me. Here's something that's really crazy to me. And some of you guys, Hammer, what's up, brother? Hope you're well. Hope to see you at Jaza's this Thursday. Hey, let me tell you what. That's right. I forgot to tell you what the dates are for this week. Besides our 6th year anniversary bash this Wednesday at Village Tavern. Come on out, be a part of the live remote concert. I'm excited about that. We're going to have fun. This show is going to be live, of course, Wednesday night. Thursday, we'll be at Zaza's in Lake Barrington with the Professor Daryl Armenstad. Friday, Chicago Prime Steakhouse with Double T, Tony Toto. That's an 8:00 hit. And this Saturday, we're making our debut at another brand new club, the Great Johnny Cabs in Burridge this Saturday night. We got Tino on keyboards. We got Jumpin' Jerry Jams. We got Double T, Tony Toto, and we got Danny Ramundi, and of course, Lisa P. Lisa P. 8 o'clock this Saturday. Tony Ocean and the Main Event Band live at Johnny Cabs. Come on out this Saturday. Burr Ridge. Absolutely. We came from the right school. All right. Now here's something that really that I found out that's really mind-boggling to me. Guys, mind-boggling to me. Listen to this. The people in the Academy Awards, the Oscars, the people that vote. Do you know they vote for the best actor, best movie, best score, whatever the hell it is, right? General, how you doing, sir? Do you know that up until recently, they didn't even have to watch the movie to vote for it? Now, according to WGN, the Oscar and Academy, now they need to actually watch the movies before they vote. I never heard of this. I thought, how do you review a movie if you didn't see it? How do you review a book if you didn't read it? How do you review a CD or a record from a new record for a new band if you didn't listen to it? I couldn't believe this. This is the Oscars, the Academy. No wonder why it's all screwed up. Now, back in the day, De Niro made a movie, Pacino made a movie, Meryl Streep made a movie. You automatically win. They didn't look at the movie. They didn't watch the movie. I never thought that's nonsense. I couldn't believe that. Could not believe that. But it's there. It's true. Mind-boggling to me. Crazy, crazy. Double T, Tony Toto, great job this week, pal. Thank you so much. We'll see. Okay, so here's a question before we get into the President Trump and Iran and everything that happened this past weekend. Here's a question for you. How many people went to work or had a job before you had a driver's license? Right? I did. I had a job when I was 13 years old. I remember one of my very first jobs washing dishes at the Golden Bear or delivering newspapers was my first one. And then I'd wash dishes at the Golden Bear. Then I delivered vacuum cleaners. Then I sold Playboy for Playboy, not magazines, the timeshare. Then I worked at Caputo's, and I got fired after the second day because I couldn't add the shit up with the pencil in the brown bag. I worked at a bowling alley, putting up the pins, fixing the machine when it broke. Tony, when are you going to be at Chef Shangri-La? And what's the date? Well, Latrice, thank you for watching. Chef Shangri-La is going to happen on the 19th of March, Thursday, March 19th, Latrice. So thank you for asking and hope to see you guys there. Boy, just like politics, voting for candidates by word of mouth, other folks, other opinions. Yeah, that could be. And if you think about this, guys, when you guys were younger kids, at least before social media came around, and you were 18 years old, and whoever was their mayor or governor or whatever, right, and president, you voted what your brother and sister did, or what your dad did, or what your mother did, or what your grandparents voted for. They told you what to do, right? So it's like when I was growing up as a kid, I didn't have a brother. I had my father, but he never told me to watch the Cubs or the Sox or the Bears because he couldn't stand them. They were cheap. They were losing teams, he said. Watch the teams that are winners. I never had. My friends didn't say, "Oh, did you go watch the Cub game?" I go, "Cubs? What's that?" Ronnie. So yeah, how many people had the a job obviously before a driver's license? I had plenty of jobs before. Before that. So yeah, I used to walk everywhere. So what does that tell you? Interesting. Some people I know did not have a job until they drove, I had a job before, host some bread at 12 years old. There you go, Dave. Hope you're doing well. Isabella Drake teacher. Oh, well, happy early birthday to Isabella, and we'll see you Saturday night at Johnny Cabs. Ronnie B, buddy, I hope to see you and Deborah this Wednesday at the 6-year anniversary bash at Village Tavern. Come on up. I'm going to have my guests on. Come up and say hi. Some of you loyal followers who've been watching the show from the beginning, come out and celebrate. Can we get Boyd out? Can we get Boyd out? Now, here's something that's making news. I don't know why it's making news. I think it's the way it was presented that's getting people a little. Okay, here you go. It's called the Trust, Tryst, Trist Chicago Hotel. It's coming. It's in the works. It'll be the first gay hotel, according to Fox 32 News, near Boys Town. The first gay hotel? Does that mean you can't go in it unless you're not gay? So why don't you just make it, this is the Native American hotel. You can't stay in it unless you're a Native American. Or this is the Italian hotel. Can't get in unless you're Italian. Or this is the all-white hotel. Or this is the well, I know back in the day, but I'm talking about now, these days. Right? What if it was like the Black Lives Matters hotel and you can't use it? What's the big deal? It's a hotel. Why is it such a big deal, the first gay hotel? Ooh, why? It's a hotel. Anybody can go to any hotel they want. Race, color, political, religion, whatever. You can go to any hotel. Pick up the phone. Look it online. Who's got the best rate? That's where you're going. Yvette, I hope you're doing well. Right? Why is it such a big deal? Ooh, because it's a gay hotel. Oh, this world that we're living in. Jesus Christ. There you go. They got a dog hotel. They do. They got a doggy motel. What's wrong with that? Why do they have to put labels on everything? See, that's the problem. They say they open up a brand new hotel in Boys Town. Why does it have to say that? They tried that years ago, drinking fountains for white. Yeah, I know, boy. That didn't work. That was a bad time in history for us here in the United States of America. A very bad time. But I'm talking about why now in 2026 they have to put that label on it. And guys, that's the difference also between liberal and conservative. Not necessarily someone who's conservative is actually, like there's some of it the way it is. Some of it just can't stand the craziness that 1, 2, 3, 5, whatever percent of each side that's taking over social media and taking over news media. It's like, just because you don't think completely like that doesn't mean you're completely conservative. If it doesn't mean you think exactly like that, doesn't mean you're feeling liberal, right? Everybody's got to put a tag on everything, a label on everything. That's weird. That screwed everything up. I tell you what's not weird. Maybe there are things going on the gay hotel that the heterosexual people don't want to see or hear about. Just saying. Okay, but then Karen, I get that. Good point. But remember, put it this way. When you look up, here's a perfect example, guys. Comedian, comedy, or a movie, right? Or anything. I heard this movie is really scary or really nasty or really racist or whatever. It's got subjects that you don't want to hear about or don't want to see. Well, usually you'll review the movie before you go see it sometimes. Who's in it, what happened, or a comedian. Remember the days of the comedians? The regular family-oriented comedian would go on at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And then the people like Jeffrey Ross or Andrew Dice Clay would go on at like at midnight at that time because you didn't know what they were going to say. So they couldn't keep them on. It was like the adult comedy show compared to which they still do in cruise ships. They still do in certain places. So if this is an all gay hotel, which doesn't make a difference to me, I don't really give a shit. But when you would Google it, it might give you that information. You know, how did this hotel come about, or who invented it, or not invented it, but who bought it? Maybe they put it. You know what I mean? So I can understand where you're coming. There's if that kind of stuff or certain things, maybe just everybody do their homework to see if this is something that you might like or might not like. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You're right, liberal, is my opinion. Okay. I tell you something that is right. Jack Vanna Landscaping. They offer monthly maintenance programs, bush trimming, spring, fall cleanup, bed mulching, fertilizer, weed control. They offer plant design service and installation and servicing the North Shore for over 50 years. What am I saying? Call Tommy at 847-432-5266. Tommy is the man. All right. This past weekend. First of all, Iran, Ali, I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. He's dead. If people would keep their nose out of other people's business, erase the greed from society, thinking that your opinion is the only one, maybe look in the mirror without yourself. That's part of the problem, Boyd. But the problem is it's not just a mirror anymore, brother. When you walk out the door, anything that you watch on television, because everybody watches television, or on social media, they'll tell you what to vote for or what not to vote for, who to do this, who that. So you got a good point there, but it's so harder now. It's much harder now to try to have your own opinion sometimes and not get swayed in either direction. Because back in the day, this is the 5 channels we watched, and whatever they said, what it was. That's what Dad said. That's what Mom said. That's what grandfather said. It's not like that anymore. Our prayers go out to our U.S. military troops. 3, so far 3, but they just have found now 4 U.S. military soldiers have passed away, and there's 5 or 6 more wounded. I'm sure there's going to be more. And unfortunately, when it comes to any kind of war, there's going to be losts and families that don't have loved ones anymore. And I always say thank you, the men and women in the military, for fighting for our country. A lot of times when they want to get into the armor or military thing like that, sometimes there's no wars going on. But when it's time and you have to go there and fight for our country, so our prayers to the families and the wounded soldiers, our heroes. No, we haven't swayed, Boyd, but we still have fun. We can still have fun. And that's why if more people can get along like me and Boyd, like we can have fun with each other, busting chops or busting balls, as they used to say, it'd be a better world instead of just hate. Instead of hate. Right? Have some fun. That's important. That's what we're missing. Let's go to headlines. Robert Schneider, whether you like him as an actor, I never follow the guy too much. I just know he was popular in the Adam Sandler movies. This guy, what he said here made a lot of sense, guys. This is from Beck Vance 2028. It's a social media outlet. When you realize that 70% of all wealth in America is owned by Democrats, 70%. You realize that the people are now the Republican Party, it seems like. Maybe because, and it's almost like, there you go, Archie and George Jefferson. There you go, Boyd. But at the end, they really cared for each other, if you think about it. They bitched and moaned and whatever, but when he moved, you know how it is. Anyway, it's almost like okay, let's take it, what Rob Schneider said. 70% of all wealth in America is owned by Democrats. Now, it's true. That's a fact. But remember, let's look at the New England Patriots. We hated them, right? Because they were winning all the time, and they got away with everything all the time, and blah, blah, blah. So everybody hated them. I think this is what's happening in this country. And I'm not saying good or bad, or it's just it's just sad. It's got to go that way. And that's the part that's getting everybody so crazy and nuts. Okay, this past weekend, WGN, the U.S. and Israel launched a major attack on Iran on Saturday, with President Donald Trump calling the Iran public to seize control of your destiny and rise against the Islamic leadership that ruled the nation since 1979. Headlines. Boy, did the opinions came flying out when that happened, folks. Nobody likes any kind of war, but sometimes things need to be done. This is from megavoice.com. The new Iranian leadership has just reached out to President Trump, begging him to talk. Maybe they can put some sense into these people and sit down and try to have peace. This is sent in by Frank Frico. It's stunning that the lunatic liberal Democrats who cried no kings are already upset that President Donald Trump just removed 2 king dictators from Venezuela and Iran who executed millions of people, right? People are sending, I got so many stories here that people are just sending in. I must say like 500 things sent to me this morning or this past weekend. Mancow, Brentwood Bill, breaking news. Ayatollah Khomeini is now eligible to vote as a registered Democrat in the upcoming midterms. Joke. That part's a joke, but the man is dead. And here's what you don't hear. Here's what we don't get. Okay, this guy's gone. You don't think number 2 in charge, number 3 in charge, number 4, they're going to have the same views against the United States of America? Don, I can't accept that either, buddy. We don't want anybody to die, my friend. Nobody. Unfortunately, when you do kinds of wars, when they hit us on 9/11, what about all those people who died? What about those people who died? So nobody wants wars. If there's other ways of doing things, it would be a lot easier. Remember. So I totally understand where people are a little gun-ho on stuff like this. It makes a lot of sense. If that's true, Tony, and what was the point of blowing up everybody and killing those little girls? And yeah, I knew that was going to happen, guys. And it makes you wonder. You guys are perfect at what you guys are saying. You got complete right at what you guys are saying. Would it made a difference if it was Obama doing the bombing? Would it make a difference if it was Joe Biden, president, doing the bombing? Or is it just because of the hate you have for one man? That's what I'm trying to say here. And the questions that you guys that should be when you want to ask for this Friday coming up on the 6th of March, Mr. Orange. That's the name that we gave him. Former CIA, former military, and his father was a high-ranking general in the Army. So this man, I got it, Boyd. I'm just throwing it out there because you wouldn't believe everything that's coming at me at one time, these stories and different stuff like that. So I totally understand where you guys are coming from. Nobody wants war. Nobody wants all this. But sometimes you have to do things, and unfortunately, innocent people die. And that's the saddest part out of this whole discussion on both of what you guys are both thinking and both saying. We'd all agree on that. Shane Vaughn, let me explain to you why President Donald Trump had to make this move. Now, these are things that people sent to me, and whether you guys agree with them or not. Iran was less than 1 week away, according to intelligence reports, of obtaining a nuclear bomb. Now, with most nations, it's not a major deal because of something called mutually assured destruction. No one in their right minds all will launch a nuclear one except Iran. Why? Because they're the 12th. See, that's why when I get, we know why one Honduras thing doesn't cover up another Honduras thing. Correct. You're right there, Boyd. You're right. I think this move had to be made. Now, the way they did it, maybe, I don't know. I'm not in there. I don't know what's going on. I can just see what I see and what I hear and what I believe. And it's just sorry. Let's see. Dennis Gary Okapenny died in my arms in Vietnam. War was hell. Prayers for those serving our country. Well, we can always talk about Vietnam, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, that's a whole different topic in itself. And then you're getting a lot of support by some of these other countries, too. According to WFLA News, Britain, France, and Germany say they are ready to work with us to stop Iran's attacks if they retaliate. What I was happy to see, well, here, China gets 3.5. Wait, China gets 3.5% of their oil from Venezuela. 15 to 23% come from Iran. Not anymore. And some of these other things we will look. How about the women? Some of the women that you've seen on social media, whether you follow it or not, some of the women that were on social media, removing their, how you call it, burqas? Make sure I pronounce it right. For 36 brutal years, Ayatollah Khamenei ruled Iran with supreme leader, enforcing mandatory veiling, crushing, sponsored terror across the region, turning women's life freedom into death sentence to those who dared to speak of it. I mean, did you see the videos on, depends what channel you watched, of course, the women taking off their veils and stuff for the very first time? Isn't that incredible for the women who had to suffer all these years? Do you imagine that you can't wear this dress here in the United States of America? Do you imagine if you couldn't get into a place where people frowned on you when you couldn't wear like certain stuff? I mean, I know through the years when things first came out and people just didn't understand it, they were afraid of it. A lot of things that people are still afraid of and still don't want to deal with it. It's got to be. I just loved it. I was in tears when I seen that. I don't know if you guys did, but when I seen those people rejoicing, it felt good. It felt good. And look, even CNN had to admit massive pro-Trump crowds in L.A. CNN had report huge crowds in Los Angeles celebrating Trump's Iran strike, calling it a historic day. I mean, for these people who suffered, and how about the ones that are in America, in the United States? It's called a toupee. Oh, thank you, Boyd. I didn't know. I thought it was a toupee. Is that what it's called? The thing that they wear on their head? Okay, there you go. Maybe I need somebody next to me to give me that. Boyd Fletcher, busting chops. Yeah, there you go. Well, that's good. If he didn't bust chops, what's the point? Look, this leader should have been gone years ago. With Joe Biden could have got rid of him. Obama should have got rid of him. This guy's bad. This guy's bad news, folks. And we don't need to go through the whole history of this. Suddenly, the entire world knows that the U.S. military is no longer run by men in dresses. What about that, Pope? By the great man cow, whether you like him or not. These people know their jobs. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Unfortunately, it's a joke, son. I got it. According to Fox Nation. Now, of course, this is the channel that you guys prefer to watch, whatever your channel is. Did you approve of the president's actions related to Iran? According to the Fox News Nation, undecided were 9%. Disapproved, 37%. Approved, 54%. On the Fox News Nation. Now, again, these numbers are just on stations that you watch. Now, someone else can give you another number. So, like I said, do we know the truth? I mean, think about this. Iran murdered over 50,000 people plus. It's just sad all around. And no one's ever going to agree. There's always going to be this fight that's going on and the opinions that people have. I'm just, look, it's one story after another. I can't keep them all in place here. Usually, usually when stuff comes out, you usually kind of get a perspective on certain things. But when people are passing away, I watch all the press goes up and down, including gasoline. Good point. President Trump didn't start a war with Iran. He's ending a 47-year-old war with Iran. Got a point there. How long we've been struggling. And then everybody said the way he did it. He needed the approval. Listen, guys, let's go back here. This is a RepublicanArmy.com. If you're wondering what the sources are. Save me your outrage. Obama bombed 8 countries without Congress approval. The difference is Trump is ending a war before it happens, not starting a war for nothing. See how you want to take that. And again, it's something that people are either going to agree on or not agree on. It's just crazy. It really is. ConservativeMonday.com, breaking news. Saudi Arabia just joined the USA in the military operations against Iran. Could everybody be maybe coming together in some sort of these countries for the good? Is that possible? Maybe. Bernie Sanders, of all people? According to DeSosa.com, Bernie Sanders, if you don't have any borders, you don't have a nation. Trump did a better job. I don't like Trump. I can't stand Trump, but we should have secure borders. So maybe in one point, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll talk more, if it brings some sort of unity and brings maybe these other countries together to help, if it gives some of these women in that country freedom, maybe it's a good thing. Will we ever know? Dennis, over 58,000 troops died in Vietnam. Of course, nobody wants to talk about Vietnam. Of course not. They don't want to compare that. But you're absolutely right, Dennis. Jane Palucci, in the 60s and 50s, Iran was the fashion mecca in the Middle East. The woman wore mini skirts and go-go boots. You can look it up. Now, see how things change? Is he fighting for a biblical war? That's a whole different topic. And that's why I got a guy who's going to talk to us on Friday. So I want to make sure you guys tune in this Friday. And again, our prayers to the civilians and people that had nothing to do with the war, that lost their lives and their families. And of course, our military heroes. That part is a sad, sad, sad day. It is. Guys, before we go, though, and I'm sorry sometimes we only have an hour, because I love when you guys send me your rebuttals and your other stuff. I love that. I really do. Let's get the weather real fast, because I forgot to do it. JRC Ace Hardware weather. It's the weather brought to you by Monday, March 2nd. It's 39 degrees right now, 38% humidity, 8-mile-an-hour winds. It's a little cool out there. It is sunny, a little windy. I took the dog for a walk. It was a little chilly with the wind chill. It is getting closer to spring, though, and that's brought to you by the JRC Ace Hardware Minute. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Guys, again, busy week. The anniversary show this Wednesday, so don't forget, at Village Tavern. I hope you guys can come by and join, just for the fun. Just so everybody can meet some of you guys we never met. And if you can come out just to say hi and laugh and talk and have some fun, we hope to see you all there this Wednesday at the Village Tavern in Schaumburg on Wise Road, 6 o'clock, live remote about 7:15. And that's this Wednesday. Thursday at Zaza's with Daryl Armistav. Friday, Chicago Prime Steakhouse with Double T, Tony Toto. And Saturday, Johnny Cabs in Burr Ridge. It's going to be a lot of fun. What else we got coming up? On March 12th, we'll be at the Chez Paul Hotel in Arlington Heights, rooftop on the 12th. On the 19th, we'll be at Chef Shangri-La in North Riverside. On the 14th, we'll be at Ron Onesti's Club Arcada Speakeasy in St. Charles. Double T, Tony Toto, Bob Pucci. It's going to be a lot of fun there. Oshows.com for tickets on that. On the 21st, of course, we'll be at 28 Mile in Highwood. We're excited. It's a brand new venue as well. April 1st, Hard Rock Casino with a tribute to Cheap Trick with the Dream Police. We're going to rehearsal right now. Right after this, we're going to rehearse with the Dream Police for that show. April 11th will be at Primo Italian Americano Restaurant. And the very first, also on the 12th, April 12th will be at the in Lake Geneva. It's a Thursday night. We'll be at the Getaway on a Thursday night in Lake Geneva, the French country, and in April. But the Rat Pack will be in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin on May 9th at the Cove Hotel Resort in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. All right, guys. Birthdays for March 2nd. Gina, if you're watching, Gina, your son, Anthony, happy birthday to your son, Anthony. Bon Jovi, 64 years old. Alex Rocco, better known as I'm Mo Green, damn it, from The Godfather, birthday today. Bill Gaines, celebrating the birthday. Mo Howard, of course, from the great Three Stooges. Robert Conrad, Wild Wild West, and Baba Black Sheep celebrated. But the great musical arranger, the orchestra, Glenn Miller. Booker T, for all you wrestling fans, 61 years old. Harry Belafonte, Chicago actor, former police officer Dennis Farina. The great Mark Rubio. Could he be president in 2028? I like Rubio. Harry Carey celebrating a birthday. Holy cow. Cubs are losing against the White Sox. Harry Carey. Alan Thicke, Lake Show host. Joey Antonelli, David's son. David, happy birthday to your son, Joey, 19 years old. Car driver, Mario Andretti. David Niven, great British actor. Charles Durning, another great actor, better known for Tootsie. He made some other great movies. The great drummer from Chicago, Jade 50s and Love and Spoonful, Mike Orturi, celebrating a birthday. Lionel Artwell, great actor for Sherlock Holmes, a lot of mysteries back in the day. Tim Daly, actor, celebrating. Sir Roger Daltrey, singer for The Who, celebrating a birthday. And another great Chicago keyboard player, entertainer, Miles Green, who produced my third record, No Brown Shoes After 4 o'clock. Miles, happy birthday out there, brother. Guys, it has come to the end of the hour, and it's another hour. Ocean Spit tomorrow, Twisted Tuesday with Carol Brandolino. Wednesday, there's no show during the day because it's the 6th-year anniversary show at night. Thursday, of course, back with Toxic Thursday and Friday. Mr. Orange, former CIA, former military, and of course, his father was a high-ranking general in the Army, answering a lot of your questions. So be ready. And I told him, we're going to answer some great questions, and let's see what you can come up with and see what you got to say, because I don't know a lot of stuff, guys. I'm just having some fun here in the hour. And I appreciate you guys being patient with me and hanging out for some fun, I hope, and some laughs and some tears and whatever we're going to do. But let's not forget our good friends from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local. World Wild Bird Food. 2 20-pound bags for $20 while supplies last. And Kensington Royal Paint. Give your house a fresh coat of paint during the spring cleaning. Save. Buy 1 gallon. Get 1 gallon off, 50% off. That means you buy one, you get 1 other gallon for 50% off. I love the Carhartt clothes, 30% off, man. You can't beat that. And don't forget to tell them to grill your ace off. Get your brand new grill ready for the spring summer grilling. Brought to you by our friends from JRC Ace Hardware. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Ace is the place. Guys, buy local, shop local, support local establishments, support live entertainment. Be kind to one another. Be kind to you brothers and sisters out there, and be humble. And if you are insulted or offended by anything on this show, don't watch it. Change the channel like you do every day on your television and your radio. But just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. Please remember that too. But most important in life, be kind to one another. Life's too damn short to hold grudges. Get along, smile, get out of the house, and enjoy life, because we need it. We need to enjoy life. That's all we got. So Ringo Starr says, peace and love, and make peace and love come to all your families. And it's important. And always remember, God bless. And Ringo Starr says, peace and love, and God bless America. God bless you all, everybody. And thank you for watching Ocean's Pit, a little show about big things. Nick Sahajas, Piano Man, take us out. Bye-bye.
Time to go, it's the end of the show. See you later from Tony O.
Sorry. God bless everybody. Have a great day. Thank you.